If I, yes,
I just want
continue.
to have it. I want to have it for my own records, and it's kind of cool. I might take some inserts of it and make a vlog about it. But so awesome. I watched your videos. I'll be honest with you, considering the YouTube that you have watched, you've done a heck of a job unraveling what barebow is. Considering you've had a little bit of Olympic recurve coaching, or coaching as it's known to someone who is shooting Olympic recurve. Like you're already doing a lot of really good things. So I commend you for that. Where have you watched or learned from, or where have you done your research from to try to learn?
Quite a lot of channels actually on YouTube. I went through a lot of channels, and then I decided that I wanted to do a little bit of more training, and I found Tom Hionoza from the US Archery as well, the USA Archery, and I did the level 2 instructor course with him, which helped me as well.
Tom Hinoja.
Yes. Gotcha. I have no idea how to say his name.
Hinoja. He was a facilitator for my level 4 when I took it through USA Archery. So
okay,
he's a friend of mine. He's a good guy.
Yeah, and then I asked him because he recommended me to you.
Yeah, and he's an Olympic recurve coach. He plays with barebow some, but I mean, there's definitely limited resources to experienced. I'm using that term very specifically. Barebow coaches who are competitors or have competed. There's a lot of experienced shooters, not necessarily coaches. There's a lot of people giving instruction, but not necessarily competitors. So there's definitely a small community of people, but I really appreciate you reaching out, and I look forward to working with you here for the next month, and we'll see what kind of improvement we can get and see how it goes moving forward. So
sure.
I'm going to share your video here.
Okay.
And we're going to talk. This archery range looks so cool. Okay. Is this like your backyard, or is this?
Yes, yes. It is our miniature yard.
Yeah, I think it just looks
for the US, it is a tiny backyard.
Oh no, not necessarily, dear. And the US, if this is your yard, it looks like it's twice the size of mine. So you're doing just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not all the US. It's not all it's cracked up to be in certain regards, but it's just cool seeing all the old architecture, and it's just neat for me being in the US. I'm dying to come over to Ireland. You don't happen to know Sean Moore, do you?
Sean Moore? No, not really.
He's involved in Ireland's Archery Association, I think, pretty heavily. He trained with me through the level 3. And I think we are going to be promoting International Archery Institute is going to play a role in your archery training over there. There's a lot of things that have to happen there, but he comes to the International Archery Institute, the archery coach cast that I have. He's a constant supporter of that. So but yeah, I guess we're going to be working with your archery association in Ireland here in the next over the next year at some point in time. So let's watch a few things I want to get into right away. I see you're using an open stance, correct?
Yes, it's quite
good. Yeah, nope, that is excellent. But we're gonna go through a few things as you're starting your shot process, and we're going to talk about the difference between Olympic recurve and barebow. I haven't quite coined the name for it yet, but like, as you know, probably from the barebow project, if you have found that yet, I work hand in hand with John Demmer
Yeah, I watched a lot of John Demmer and John Dillinger. In fact,
yeah,
I also watched a lot about Claire Shih.
yep.
So
Claire's she's pretty awesome and has similar form to what Dillinger and Demmer both shoot. Demmer is by far the most consistent barebow shooter that I know and have ever spoken to. I've spoken to most of the, not all, but many of the top end shooters in the world. And working with John and coaching full time, I've really sort of learned that the system, the shooting cycle that John uses, which is different from what anybody teaches, but it's common amongst the top barebow shooters. And there's very, very specific things that are different that what John does versus like somebody who is shooting Olympic recurve. Not besides the obvious anchor and stuff like that. The expansion is a little bit different. The follow through is a little bit different, but a lot of the what we do is get rid of any extra tension in the shot at full draw. So it enables you to truly concentrate on just letting the tip of the arrow float in the middle. We're going to go through your shot. And do you have a journal or a notepad or something by chance?
I can get.
Yeah, get one, because I mean, and I guess I can make notes and message them to you, but
okay. I have my diary somewhere. Yeah, I have my diary. Okay. Thank you.
all right.
Because my husband is here listening too.
he
also shoots barebow, but I'm the competitive one.
Sorry for the background noise. I'm sitting on my porch because my wife took over my office. No, that's awesome. So you said he shoots barebow as well?
Yeah, barebow, and he has a longbow as well.
Okay,
but
cool.
I'm the competitive one, and so he's just listening.
That's fine. No worries. So what we need to do is we need to sort of consolidate the steps of your shot process and make sure that you're hitting those steps the exact same way every single time. One of the things, or one of the most crucial recovery things that we have when we have a not so good shot is we have to have a really defined shot process. We need to know what are the steps that I'm supposed to take so that I can recover from a not so good shot. Knowledge about your own shot cycle is literally the foundation of a really good mental game. Having the ability and the confidence in your shot process to be like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I'm going to do. And I think that hold on one second. So that like when you're standing on a competition line and you know that you got a little panicky and you plucked one and it went wide right or whatever, that you have the ability to gather yourself, start with your stance, and run back through the entire process. Okay, but we're going to make a bunch of changes really early on. We're probably going to implement those changes, go about 2 weeks of shooting with the changes, and then reevaluate to get you started. A couple of things that I need you to do, or make more of a mental note, because as I watched your videos, you would do them, you would change the process or the order with which you took these steps. And that's when you're setting your hook and setting your grip. Okay. Make sure that when you're setting your hook, you set it, you crawl, set your hook. And then once you set your hook, you need to reposture yourself and set your grip. Okay. Your grip looks good. I'll be honest with you. I am not a fan at all of that high Hoyt exceed grip that you have. It's
That's high. Okay.
that is, yes, that is high. It might not, it's probably the lower one that it comes with the bow, but I highly, highly recommend going to,
It's the medium. No, which one? The grip?
yeah, the grip right here. Hold on.
Wait, yeah.
Here. This grip
Uh-huh.
is
I have
still,
a white one, but I don't know the difference.
though, listen, I'm gonna give you I don't know what your interest is in up, not, it's really an upgrade, but look at Yager archery products, or
What
you
is
can
it?
look at,
Yeah.
you can look at our core as well over there. It's probably cheaper for you to get an R core grip than a Yager grip, but I personally like the Yager grips because the it stays tacky all the time. It never changes. The R core grips in cold weather seem to get a little bit slippy, but
Yeah, guy, you said.
yeah. So I would, but look at Yager archery products. Paul makes amazing grips, and there's actually like, I know Demmer has his own grip that's on there. I like Demmer's grip. If you don't like that grip, you can always get the same grip, medium height, but it's without the ridge. Demmer's grip has a ridge that's on the left side of it. But take a look at getting a grip because it's going to help tremendously with your follow through.
So the grip and it's medium height.
Yeah, I can see if I can find a link and I can send it to you.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Yeah. So, but at any rate,
Yeah, because this one actually makes my arm move according.
well, listen, that's an Olympic recurve grip. So what do we do in Olympic recurve? We're here and that shot breaks and it's this.
Yeah.
And then that grip, because of the angle of it, promotes the bow to shoot straight forward and down. That's the way that grip is designed. And a bare bow grip, just because of the nature of the weight that you have on your bow and the way we shoot bare bow, that bow just rocks back and forth a little bit. That's all it should do.
Yep.
That grip doesn't promote that. And honestly, it doesn't put you in a real comfortable holding position, in my opinion.
No, in fact, it hurts a little bit, especially my thumb. It hurts.
I completely agree. I have the exact same problem. I have the exact same.
Okay. So it wasn't just me. Okay.
No, it's not. But you do a good job setting your grip. You have the knuckles at the 45 degree. You got to make sure that that thumb is relaxed as well. So, make sure that this thumb stays relaxed completely. We have a habit of squeezing with the thumb and don't realize it. Because look, when you do shoot, that bow barely moves, which tells me that you have tension in that thumb. Watch when you shoot, the bow doesn't move. You're still just holding on to it. I want that bow, these fingers so relaxed, and I even tuck this finger. It's up to you. You don't have to. I tuck this finger along the side so that bow can shoot straight forward. I'll show you a video. I'll show you a video of me shooting just so you have a comparison. You have a really good bow arm. I like the bow arm, and I'll be honest with you, I like your overall full draw position is pretty good. I think you could still establish a better alignment yet, but overall it's pretty good. My question to you is, what happens when the tip of your arrow gets to the middle? What do you do?
When the tip of my arrows gets to the middle, I check again the alignment, and then I just shoot. I don't know what else I do.
That's good. That's good. Do me a favor though, and change. So again, just to go back to your notes, I don't want to get too far ahead. Set your hook, set your grip, set your posture before you raise to draw. I want you to watch what you do.
Okay, so I do the hook before I put it up.
Yeah. Okay. So set your hook like you're doing right here. Right? Set your hook, finish the hook. Okay, hook is finished. Now, at this point, you should go to your grip and set your grip. Set it in its final position.
All right, so set the hook, okay.
So hook first, set your grip, And then after you set your grip, you need to
And then pull and then draw.
do not raise to draw yet. Reposture. Stand up straight. Get your spine vertical, your head over your spine, and your head between your shoulders. You need to bring your shoulders, because what happens, I want you to look at your shoulder right now is up like this because you're setting your hook in a goofy position. Watch what happens. You completely bypass the set position and you just raise your bow. So you never get to lower your shoulder and relax, and you don't get the full engagement of your back because you're just skipping right through that step. Watch. Hook set.
Yes. I know. Yeah.
You don't even set your grip. You just kind of open your fingers and then you go right into raise to draw.
True. Okay. Yes. True.
Okay. And what we do is, and I'm going to demonstrate real quick. When we go from that set position, so that's here, right? I'm going to bump this down a little bit. That set position here. And when we raise everything together. Boom. My head doesn't move. The only head movement that happens is from me coiling at my midsection, at my core. I go from that set position to set up and I coil here. This is where I take my shoulders and I turn them away from the target to establish, in the NTS, they call the barrel of the gun. You're establishing that early, but you need to establish that, and it needs to be completed at setup before you start drawing.
Okay, so then draw.
So set up. When you raise to draw, this hand's going to come straight up and you're automatically going to rotate. Now, I know Brady Ellison shoots and is like the poster child for NTS, but he has a video called Shoot Like Me through World Archery, and he does a really good job of explaining how opening at his core allows him to basically pre-draw his bow almost like 3/4 of the way. Like I said, we'll go over the video and I'll show you what that does. But just going from the set to setup position really early on is going to add a consistency to your shot cycle. Because right now it's just sort of hook, and then you finish setting your hook and go like this. You set your grip and go like this. And that's all it is. You're just raising and drawing, which it's actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty good. But when you start defining these steps of your shot process, then you have a plan to be able to fix the shot when it's not going the best.
Okay.
Right now, you're really, really you're sort of just shooting from the subconscious. And
yes,
all of the time. And the goal is to consciously learn these steps so that you are able to allow the subconscious to seep in after you get to full draw and hold, and the aim has already started happening. You expand, your expansion as you know the steps of the NTS. Your expansion isn't a movement. It's just a buildup of pressure at full draw, allowing the aim to happen and refusing to let go of the string. So at any rate, right now we need to work on defining your hook, defining your grip, resetting your posture, and then we're going to look at the overhead and explain how coiling works. And that's a lot of changes really quick. So we may not make any more like significant changes. It goes against my better judgment as a coach to make a whole bunch of changes right now. That's a lot. That's a lot to master in and of itself. Do you have a stretch band there by chance?
Yes, I not the tiny one, the one that you showed.
That's okay. Whatever.
Okay, let me go and get it.
Okay.
So I have one that I set it like this,
That's fine.
and I have the other one, the one.
It doesn't matter. You use whichever one you want.
Okay.
Fine. So you can do it from a seated position. That's fine. I don't care, but I want you to go and I want you to practice setting your hook, set your grip, and then stand up straight and reposture. When you do raise to draw, you have to focus. You have to focus on opening those shoulders and setting that barrel of the gun, going from the set position, set up, set position, set up. I just want to see, hold on, I'm going to stop sharing so I can see your video. Go ahead. Let's see it. Don't move your head. Try not to move your head or move it as minimal as possible. Okay.
Okay.
So set up. Keep that vertical hand. Yeah, that's good. Set up position is here, right? And then it's draw to load.
Oh.
But I want your draw to load. That's good. I can't see your bow arm, but it's okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. When you, that's good right there. Yeah. So that's your setup position. You're looking at right now, your gaze is at the middle of your target, but you're not aiming. No aiming happening.
At the moment, no, because at the moment I would be seeing the string mostly with an eye. I would be seeing the string.
Yeah.
And then I start string alignment.
You want to check your string alignment right after you get to anchor, not later on. So
right after you get the anchor. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so we're going to go from set up here and then draw to load. Well, draw to load is right to the front of your chin. It's literally more of a linear. The way I teach it or the way I do it is that this top of my finger just gently touches the front of my chin, barely. Then
I noticed that you do not go to your anchor immediately in your videos.
I do not, because that's where my draw to load is. That's for me, as I'm starting the draw and then I slide right up into my anchor. This C right here, can you make the C with your hook? Your fingers are going to be together and you're making that C. Keep this thumb out. Don't keep it in like this. Keep it out. Yes. So what happens, flatten your hand out now, like you're coming into your anchor, go right to the front of your chin. And I want you to see how that jawbone slides right in between the C. Finger goes right to your tooth and the thumb goes behind your jawbone.
Thumb goes behind my jawbone. Yes, it does.
You see how it'll slide right in, right through your jaw this way. Okay. All that does is that helps with your consistency. I'll be honest with you, and I'm not telling you to not concentrate on that lower eye tooth. I'm 100% okay with that. The only thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to seesaw to find it. You come to full draw and you come right to your anchor and you do this.
Yes, I do.
We got to get rid of that because that does absolutely nothing. All it does is creates inconsistency with your anchor every time. The best, in my opinion, not moving your head and you come straight to anchor. Using that thumb wrapped around the back of the jaw helps tremendously with consistency. So yeah, you see how you're doing this?
I have to feel it.
It's like I said, it's gonna be an adjustment. And this is a lot of changes in a short amount of time. This is probably the last change that we're gonna worry about. But when you come into your anchor and you slide up here and you finish, that's the final position of your full draw position right there. That's where we stay. And what happens moving forward, we need to kind of master this. We need to master this beginning part. But what happens, or essentially what happens, is you put the tip of the arrow in the middle and you just mentally, you physically put the tip of the arrow in the middle. You're still not aiming. Mentally, we switch our focus to the hold, allowing the tip of the arrow to go in the middle. We're not worried about releasing, not even thinking about releasing. We're just holding. And you almost refuse to let go of the string. We don't consciously do one of these. we don't worry about the finished position as much of having to be back here, because in barebow we shoot less poundage, right? And
I shoot minus 34
right.
pounds.
So in Olympic
And
recurve,
the setting is on the soft setting of the Hoyt.
that's fine. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's a feel thing. Whoever it's, I don't.
Yeah,
There's not a ton of
I tried the other settings, but the soft one worked well for me.
That is 100% okay. But the notion is that at 32 pounds, is your release going to be the same at 32 pounds as it would be at, say, 45 or 42, which is what your high-end Olympic recurve shooters are shooting? It's not. It's not.
No.
Because the string is pulling out much faster, right? So you're going to have more tension. You're going to be built up more. Barebow is this weird phenomenon where we have to find the happy place of the amount of weight that we're holding, being able to aim, and then target panic is somewhere in the middle. And if we can find that right combination of tune, bow setup and bow tune form, that it takes the target panic and reduces it to next to nil. Truck going by. That's where we find our most consistent barebow form. I'm going to share my video with you real quick, and just let me see. Here it is. All right, here we go. Oh, no. So you see how I'm going to scrub through here. I want you to watch. I set my hook. I have already set my hook here. Very specifically set my hook. Hook is finalized. Go right to grip. See my grip? Grip is set.
Yeah.
And I put a little bit of pre-draw into the string. The only reason.
And you put your grip while it was down. It was still down.
Still down. It doesn't move. And once it's
I
set,
usually put it. Yeah.
Once it's set, it's done. I don't change it. So, but then I go into the set position. The set position for me includes, and I teach this, includes a little bit of string tension right here. I call it pre-draw right here, right? That pre-draw enables the grip to stay, won't move,
yes,
and allows the finger pressure to stay, won't move. But when you raise to draw, this hand, you watch, this hand comes straight up. This hand right here goes like this. But I'm still hinging, so this is all one straight line. Okay. And the whole thing raises together in unison. So what that looks like, I want you to watch. You see how everything comes up in a plane, comes up together. See how this hand, I didn't pull anything, but I coiled this way. At this position, I'm starting my coil this way so that it enables me to continue to draw. So when I'm raising, I go from here and I coil, 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 alignment is established. And then to finish it, one second. I'm gonna scrub it so that you can see. So I come back and I draw right up into my anchor. I actually overdrew this one just a little bit. Right there, I'm touching my chin. Now I'm shooting 50 meters here, so it looks like I'm definitely raising up. I'm shooting higher. But watch, the anchor comes in and stops. My head has minimal movement at best. And that C that we talk about slides right around my jaw and into my anchor. Okay. We'll watch, you can watch another one. You see how my release is, the tip of the arrow floats and I just let the string pull through my fingers. I'm not doing anything extra. And the way that I tried to describe it to people is that the bow is shooting the arrow, not you. All you're just there to facilitate it. So I'm letting that string just break my fingers. That's it. I'm not consciously letting go. I'm not adding any extra movement into it. All I'm trying to do is allow the string and the bow to do the work. And my bow arm does not move. See how the bow rocks back and forth?
No, I was looking at your hand.
Okay, watch my bow arm. My hand.
Yeah,
Bow shoots
my
straight
bow
forward.
doesn't do that. Yeah.
Bow just rocks back and forth. And I can take this video and upload it and send you a private link so you can rewatch it if you want to. The important thing to remember is that the bow arm's movement after the shot is an indicator of how steady and relaxed your aim was. Okay. So your goal ultimately is to get that tip of the arrow in the middle. So your tune has to be point on, should be point on. Get it there, hold it there, and you just hold, letting the string pull through. The natural tension of the buildup of the shot, you're going to come back a little bit, but we're just letting the tension of the bow finish the shot, and we're just holding. The thing that I can't emphasize enough is that our body naturally wants to even things out. Like if you and I stand here and we do arm circles, isn't it easier to do them together at the same speed than it is to try to do one? You see how they automatically want to even out?
Yeah.
The shot cycle of archery is the same way. If we're going to have a big release hand movement, we want to have a big arm movement on this side. It's tension and direction. The tension and direction, which they do teach in NTS, you split your body down the middle. You need to have the same amount of movement and tension and direction on both sides. Well, if I don't want my bow arm to move much after the shot, I need to concentrate on just holding that. If I don't want this movement to be drastic on my bow arm, then this movement can't be the same. This movement needs to be similar. So you need to find what your 50-50 is. What is your tension and direction? Do you want to have a nice steady bow arm? Does that mean that you're going to have to reduce this release hand here so that it's just boom? Or are you going to try to do one of these? Because what happens? You want to even it out, right? It's not any different than anything else that we do. If you do just doing arm circles proves the point. We try. What's up, kiddo?
Like hello.
Hi, buddy. Yeah, so like I keep that idea in your head. It's going to be a complete form change, and it's not Olympic recurve.
No,
that is not what Olympic recurve is. I mean, and as you worked with the coach, yes. So, but yeah, you work with that Olympic recurve coach, and they get you anchored in here, and then they're having this big expand. The click goes, and it's this big finish, just by nature of the expansion and the nature of the motion of the bow, because we have big stabilizers. Like when I shot Olympic recurve, I had a top stabilizer, a sight, wide V bars, and you have all this extra stuff. Well, the bow has to move, and you have to move to allow that bow to get out of the way. So we automatically are creating this big motion on this side. So what happens on this side? It has to
big
be
motion as well. Okay.
It wants to even itself out. Bare bow, just by nature of the equipment that we use, doesn't do that. So we have to scale things back. And because we shoot lower poundage, because the way our equipment is set up, we don't have to have the same follow through. There's no need.
Okay.
And again, this isn't my theory. Just watch John Demmer, John Dillinger, Grayson Partlow, watch Mike Fisher. Mike Fisher's got a little bit, but he's a previous Olympic recurve shooter. So, you know, he's got a little bit more. Eric Johnson, you know, watch these shooters who are continually at the top of the game. John Demmer is the most consistent barebow shooter in the world, in my opinion, hands down. And like I've said this a million times, he'll never call me his coach, but I'm the one that gets the messages when he's making changes and when things are working. And I talk to him all the time about it. And I learned my lesson about this shooting style last year, because prior to that, I was my own style. And then I took my level 4 and tried to implement as much of the NTS to barebow as I could. And I'm not going to lie, it was a nightmare because it just didn't make sense. What I knew worked wasn't working with NTS. So the portion, like there are aspects of NTS that work, like the coiling and trying to keep the hips as much as you can. It doesn't have to be 100% over the heels, and you know, the alignment.
I don't manage to do it.
What's that?
I don't manage to do all the NTS properly and completely.
You can't because the buildup of tension in the NTS makes it pushes you to have more of a dynamic follow through. And in barebow, we don't need that. So,
okay.
You know, I hope this all makes sense to you, because it's a lot of information and we're, 48 minutes into a conversation, but I don't want to give you any more information. And I don't want you to be on like sensory overload trying to make changes. We just got to concentrate on the beginning. But again, in the mental game, like the way I look at the mental game of archery, the mental game is like the foundation of a house, but it's not poured concrete, it's cinder blocks. And every step of your shot process, from the moment you set your stance to the moment you set your hook to the moment you set your grip and everything else, is one block of the foundation of the mental game. Every time you set your stance, that's one block. Every time you set your hook, that's another block. And you just keep adding blocks into the foundation. And that's what creates the mental game, is having the knowledge and building blocks of the mental game. So, yeah, I think that's about is all I want to cover for today. Let's work on those changes. Work on it for 2 weeks. Let's set up another meeting. Send me new videos and go from there. It's going to feel, listen, when you work on the release, it's going to feel super weird. I would start with blind bail. Do you know what blind bail is?
Yeah, I saw the video about blind bail.
Okay. I would start with making the form changes by closing your eyes, taking the aim out of it, and just working on the posture and the form, doing it blind bail. It's going to feel weird going from here and holding, and just, you almost feel like you're cutting off your form. You're not cutting it off. You're just not adding anything to it.
So when do I close my eyes?
So
after anchoring, right?
After you do aim.
After aiming.
Yeah.
After aiming.
No, you run through your entire shot, anchor, aim. It's a little bit of like expansion, which is just holding. And then close your eyes and visualize. When you close your eyes, you're still visualizing the aim. Do you understand? And you're concentrating, You're concentrating on the tension on your fingers. And all you're doing is letting that subconscious, that's where the subconscious switch happens, from conscious to subconscious. That's where it happens. Full draw, transfer to hold, You're expanding his starting, you're allowing the aim to happen, but you're just concentrating on the hold. You know, I literally concentrate on the tension on my fingers. I don't aim at all. I don't even think about aiming. It just happens.
Okay.
But it's very difficult. John aims a little bit more than I do, but you know, you start to juggle relaxed shooting versus a little bit more of a controlled command style of shooting but you have to sometimes for like wind conditions, range, stuff like that. You got to aim a little bit harder in those situations because you have to aim off or whatever.
Yeah.
So and I wanted to ask, are you point on at 50 meters?
At 50 meters, yes, if I put it here under, yes, I'm point on.
Okay, good.
Straight to the goal.
Yeah, all right, that's perfect.
But then I have 60 meters because in October there are the nationals, and during the nationals they want me to shoot 30, 40, 50 and 60 meters.
Yeah, that's the world, I forget, 1440 round or whatever.
And at 60 meters I tried keeping the same anchor. I tried aiming as high as I could to the flag, and I still didn't manage to hit the target. They were very low. I moved it here under.
Yeah, you're probably over.
And then I managed. I also tried split fingers. But it's not natural now having a split finger.
Yeah.
Split finger anchor with the corner of the mouth works perfect. Point onto the gold and it works perfect. So I was thinking that just for the 60 meters round, I was thinking to go like that.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
So split finger, anchor of the mouth, because I'm comfortable over there. I really hate messing up on my anchors, but for the 50 meters, if I want to aim to the gold, I have to go a little bit down from face walking.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I try not to change my anchor for anything. So I deliberately set my bow tune up so that indoors it's very similar crawl and similar setup for my anchor as it is at.
Yeah, now I'm hoping I got the new one.
Is that a fair weather?
No, this is a Spigarelli one.
Yeah, good.
I bought it arrived today, so I'm curious to know, because finally now I have markings. I don't need to count fingers.
Yeah, that's good. It's going to help tremendously.
And I am curious to know, maybe you can help me. Should the string actually go over here?
No, I hear that a lot. I do not. I put my tab all the way back so that it's nice and stable and as far back as I can go. Yeah, I go back as far as I can. And when I set my hook, I go with a little bit of a deeper hook. So the NTS teaches in the groove of the index finger.
Yeah.
Right. And then in just behind the first joint of the middle finger and then on the pad of the third. I personally go behind the first index finger groove.
Okay.
Because I feel as though it gives me more control.
It is not everyone is the same, basically.
No, absolutely not. You need to find what works for you. And the other thing is that I won't hit my nose if I'm a little bit of a deeper hook.
Okay.
So if you aren't hitting your nose, I wouldn't worry about that. But
no, I'm not.
Yeah. So, but I like a deeper hook because it makes me less panicky. And I just feel like I have more control because remember, my approach to shooting is that I'm not the one that's shooting the arrow, the bow's shooting the arrow. I'm just facilitating the shot. So when I'm here, I'm trying to just stabilize and get the bow into a position where the bow can shoot it. And then I let the bow do the work. String pulls through. My natural motion from the release of tension is here. That's it. So I think that's enough for today. That's a lot for today. So, start working on it. Give it a solid 2 weeks of change You better be doing blind bail at least once a week. And well, after we get into this 2-week, we'll re-review your form. We'll meet up and then we'll talk about like how you can sort of train for a tournament. What do you need to do? Okay.
Okay, blind bail. How many meters blind bail?
Just like 5.
5 meters. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't go too far. 5 meters.
Like, and just keep in mind, yeah. Did you ever play any other sports or anything?
Quite a lot.
Okay. Like
so, what? Karate mostly.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Sort of like, I don't have any experience with karate, but
all right, swimming, scuba diving, I don't know.
Sure. Okay. So let's go with swimming, for example.
Okay.
You know, I'm trying to think. If you want to fix the timing of, say, 100-meter, right? 50-meter, and you need to work on individual components, you're going to work on your start, your stride, your technique, your turn at the wall, and you're going to work on all of those things. You're not going to just continually swim and hope that you get better.
Yes, exactly.
Archery is the same way. You work on the release. You work on holding in the middle, draw holds, which I'm sure if you've watched any of the YouTube clips, you've heard about draw holds. You know, you can use them in competition. You can use a 3-second, 5-second draw hold in competition if you start losing your composure and forgetting, like, oh my gosh, I'm not, tip of the arrow's getting there and I'm just letting go. So you reintroduce that proper movement pattern, and then follow the next shot, all of a sudden gets a million times easier because we are doing the correct thing. So doing draw holds as training is a great way to shoot a good shot without actually shooting a shot. Doing blind bail is a great way to shoot a good shot without actually shooting a shot. So you're training individual aspects of the archery shot without doing the archery shot. It's just like any other sport. And that's probably one of the most important things, or the way to approach your shooting moving forward is don't just shoot shots for the sake of trying to get better. Evaluate, break the shot down into its individual components and train it that way. Your scores will definitely get better. Okay.
I do hope so.
They will. I mean, it's going to take some time with the form changes and stuff, but I mean, I've worked with enough shooters at this point to know, like, I know that these changes work. I know they do. But there's nobody else that teaches it this way. And I don't, because we're so stuck in the idea of linear, Korean, NTS, Olympic recurve, and nobody's really I don't know. There's this ideology that not everybody can shoot like a triggerless shot and, you know, all this stuff. And I know anybody can. You just need to train it correctly. So, all right.
Okay.
Lots.
I will work on these. Okay.
Very good. And then we'll
quite a lot. And then if you can send me that grip.
Oh yeah.
Maybe if you can find the link of the grip, I will buy it.
Yeah, I'll send you that now.
I will definitely buy it. If it's better, definitely then.
It definitely is. There's no question. Like I said, I don't care which one you get. That one's just too high. So
no, but if it is too high, the mine is high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you very much for the meeting.
Yeah, absolutely, Priscilla. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, so in 2 weeks' time, I will take the videos again.
Yep.
Perfect.
And we'll set up another meeting.
Okay, will do.
All right.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks.